Yeah, and I'll just edit
I see.
it out. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to be here today with a very good friend. She is a retired registered massage therapist, and I got to know her originally as dancer. She was my amazing massage therapist and had the opportunity to become friends and really witness her life journey of being an artist and melding and finding this intersection really between the healing arts and also fine arts. And I think where we are right now is just so amazing because we're in Laurie's incredible Earth Ship home in British Columbia, Canada. And to me, this is a synthesis of everything that you are, which is beauty, creativity, art, creation, and healing energies. You can feel that when you walk in this house, that there's a sense of safety, calm, nourishment, and fertile ground for whatever it is you need, depending on who you are and where you're at in your own life journey. So I'm so grateful to be here. I happen to be here for a little while on a little retreat to have a visit and in my own journey to just create balance in my life. And thank you for being here.
You're welcome, Desiree. It's amazing to listen to your introduction. Thank you. That's very nice.
So for those that aren't familiar with this term, Earth Ship Home, it sounds kind of outer space or something, but what is that?
It's rammed earth as the retaining walls, and the structure is tires. So you're using recycling tires, and it happened to be the type of soil that was in this area is 1/3 clay, 2/3 sand, which is more or less the mixture for a adobe mixture. A lot of parts of the world are that combination, but it wasn't too rocky, and it was south facing, and so it just made sense to consider this type of building construction. And there was the idea that it would cost less as a retaining wall, which is an interesting concept when you're building a house, because there's always the relationship between time and money. Anyway, yeah, and part of the reason that I wanted it is it's south facing, so I wanted the solar advantage, and I wanted it to be comfortable in the winter time, which is the time that we're doing the interview, and we're having our little winter wonderland retreat because the house is so comfortable. And in the summertime, because I live in a very hot area of British Columbia, like one of the hottest areas, I wanted it to be cool in the summertime, and it really is.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So amazing. So it's about 28 years since you started the process, and I remember you hauling the tires up and going between the city and here and bringing the supplies, and you had a partner at the time who was very involved, and just that creative process step by step. And I know you still feel like you're still kind of tweaking things here and there, so it really is a kind of art project, which is incredible.
It's all I think that if I was going to describe how I like to live my life, because I do have an art background. I went to a lot of years of school, and I started off doing pottery and then multimedia and then more installation, collaborative stuff. And I've worked with Desiree doing the theatrical backdrops, which I like. And I tried to make a living as an artist, which if you are the anxious sort, it can be a little stressful. So then I became a massage therapist because I wanted steady income. And I honestly wouldn't, for the amount of work that it has taken me. It doesn't take, for me to be an RMT is not difficult. I get lots of people and they come and that's not a problem. But I started a wellness center and then that ended up being a lot of work because I thought, oh, if I could just have the wellness center, then people can do all that. I can make money and not be there and do art at home. But that's not what happened. Businesses take a lot of work. So of all of the businesses that I've had, starting from when I was a potter and then moving on to other things, I look back at it all and I wonder if I just stuck with things, just instead of, oh, that's not working, I'm going to try this. Oh, that's not working, I'm going to try that. Nikki, quit doing stuff. Go lay down. Nick, away.
He wants to be in the show.
I know, all right. Come on. Okay, but you have to sit. There you go.
Oh yes, trying to upstage it.
Yeah, life is better with
Okay.
Nick. Yeah, so I look back on my life and I really do wonder that, like, as when a person is younger, or at least this person, which this person may have some ADHD tendencies. I think if I had known more about what that was about and been able to just stay focused, I could have done any number of those choices and avenues and been successful, because ultimately I was successful to support myself with massage because I was very consistent.
Consistency.
Yeah, just getting through school because it was really challenging for me. I'm dyslexic, so I've never been able to really do well academically. So that was really challenging. But I had friends and they helped me.
Yeah.
But earlier on, like in high school and earlier, all through that, it would have been, I think my life would have been a little bit easier if I had realized more about how I learn and the complexity of being a really creative. And I guess the reality is I'm a little on the nerdy side. Like, I get into things, as you well know. And so I am, like, I have a lot of brains to work with, and those can go every which way. So it's kind of been a process of learning to focus and learning to manage my creative mind. I don't lack creativity.
Definitely not.
That's not a thing.
You're never going to run out of ideas.
No, that isn't the thing. And so in everything that I do, I like to incorporate something that makes it a little more cute or extra special or a little more magical, because that gives me pleasure. And yeah, so does that answer your question about the house building?
Yeah, 100%.
A little bit of a rabbit hole, but
That's what I love. And this, by the way, is Nick.
yes, and he's the super dog.
He's a super dog. He loves dancing. He loves playing.
He loves Desiree.
He loves me, which I really love. Yeah. How was your love life during this, if you don't mind sharing, like, in terms of partnership? Because you're highly creative, independent, you're creating your own environment that you love. And then how did people, partners, lovers fit into that or not fit into that? Just in case anyone's watching and they're thinking, that sounds amazing, but I've got kids and I have a husband and he wouldn't want me to have art supplies out, or or the vibe wouldn't be there, or whatever. I'm just curious how that all flowed for you.
Well, my first partner had a job living in the city, and so it took a bit to for us to move up. But the whole house was designed for us to live here.
Yeah.
And it didn't occur to me when I was building the house that I'd be here by myself. I just really believed that that would just always be how it would be. And we were together for 23 years. It wasn't a short relationship. So, and then after that, I had I had some, how many? Not sure. And yeah, I would say for me, the relationship stuff is challenging but helpful. Like, definitely a lot of support and contribution and effort. Though for me, part of my issue, I would say, is the inability to communicate when I'm feeling overwhelmed or anxious. I'm sociable, but then I'm sort of in the middle between introvert and an extrovert. And when I'm moving into the introverted cycle, my pattern, and I guess it's one of those trauma patterns, has been to not say anything. And I didn't learn how to communicate, oh, I need my own space. This is like, the way that you're communicating to me is overwhelming and I'm having a hard time with it. I need to have my own space. And usually what would happen is, by the time I realize consciously that I need to communicate that, it came out as inappropriate. It's called yelling, just like freaking out.
You're the only person that ever does that, Laurie.
Yeah, having a meltdown, all that stuff. It was like, that to me has led me to be really cautious about being in a relationship. I haven't been in a relationship for, I think, around 3 years now. And I really enjoyed that, the lack of having to communicate to anybody about what I'm doing, how I feel. Like, it's really allowed me to even out my emotional body.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to, I mean, part of me, like, I watch romantic stories and I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice. And then I'm like, remember what it was like. And I'm like, that was very challenging. You need skills, at least. I certainly did.
And maybe the partner needs skills as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I can see my contribution, just having that inability to take space when I need it and realize this is a very big need for me. Like, it's not a small thing. And I think that ties into the creative mind part too, is that I think you were saying yesterday, you might be just sitting there, but you're actually thinking and planning. And when somebody interrupts that flow, it's really challenging to reset. And, as much as, I mean, this is called the charmed life idea of what is the perfect life for you, right? And I feel like my life right now, just being able to be in my own calm space, is just such a pleasure. Even though I think, well, it'd be nice to have a partner. It would be nice to have somebody who wants to go on little adventures or do different various things. Yes. And it's really nice to be able to just be calm for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I mean,
And you came out of a difficult relationship. There's challenges in it.
yeah, that was really challenging.
Yeah. And so it makes sense that you would want time just to rebalance and reset nervous system. And in our Charmed Circle this week, we actually just broadcast earlier today. Every week, every Wednesday, we have a Charmed Circle. And this is open to the public. Any woman, conscious woman who wants a charm life can come in and practice every single week. But today we were working on noticing how we second guess ourselves around decision making and what can cause that. And I think what we noticed today in the circle was one thing that can cause that is what I call a trust injury, where trust has been really betrayed. And we then need to heal that injury and ultimately, I think, heal the trusting of ourselves. Like, how do I trust myself? How did I get myself into this situation? Why did I stay? Why, Nick obviously is the best partner of them all. But yeah, so to me that makes sense. You would maybe want to heal that sense of trust again too.
Yeah, that's kind of been a lifelong issue for me, I have to say. Just from, stuff.
Yeah. The healing journey, right? Healing journey of transformation to be lucky enough to have awareness and get the tools and feel like have the self-worth to feel I get to find out the tools, I get to learn, I get to come into an enhanced state of vitality and wholeness. And that's what I see you doing constantly and helping others, right? People come to you when they're in pain.
Yeah.
And you're teaching them how to rebalance again using the hands-on. So there's a lot of energy and nurturing there.
Yeah.
And so you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for others, and it seems like you're on a very certain kind of journey as a light worker, really.
Yeah, well, and I think too that balance of the creative life, like being an artist, and also the massage has been, for me, it's physical, takes place over usually an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, and then that's like start to finish. It's not nebulous, and all that really suits me for my temperament, and like it's easy. Life is easier for me when there's like a start and finish and a goal. Like this is what I'm doing. It's not like a huge undertaking and then I'm overwhelmed and then I just stare at a wall or whatever trying to figure out how to do things. And obviously to build a house, it's a whole bunch of small increments, or the wellness center.
Yeah.
Any large projects have been small. This is what little goals that add up to bigger goals, and a lot of that I think is also staying out of like a negative down headspace, and that's why massage really suited me, is just because I'm interacting with a person. I've got a mission. I'm going to help them. That makes me feel good. They feel good afterwards. And they're like, thanks, here's some money. So that all really suited me in terms of my, like, in the ADHD dyslexic world, that really is very different from trying to be a scientist or any, like it was a suitable vocation for me. It was a good choice. So that very much helped in terms of talking about a charmed life, for me to have something that balances me out on a regular basis. And I'm not doing that much now because I'm retired, though it's super pleasant for me. Like, I do massage or body work, whatever, and so it's quite pleasant for me because it's, you know, interacting with people in a really nice way. So even though I live fairly isolated.
Yeah. And what I love about what you're saying too is it's craft and mastery, right, in all these different areas. So
Yes.
it's not just dabbling and having a, you know, hobby here, a little interest here or there. That's always changing. You stuck with it. You stayed persistent to artistic craft, and then also the craft of bodywork, massage, healing.
Yeah.
You know, over time, that really does add up to something really quite amazing. And now you're in your 7th decade.
Yeah.
Don't mind me saying, which I think everyone out there is going to find quite amazing, right? Because you have so much energy, and I know you're still constantly learning.
Yeah.
You're building a tiny house right now. And when I say Laurie's building it, she's literally building it. I was talking to her, I think it was last summer, and she was up on the roof with a nail gun. And
I do get help.
Like, okay. So it's not like things ever stop. And my intent of having this time together today is just to like hopefully inspire some of our viewers, right? Because it's easy to get stagnant. It's easy to get stuck, and there's nothing wrong with being there. And it's easy to be bored. And I think sometimes being bored is actually a good thing, because then you're wondering, you're like, well, what should I do? Which really we're asking ourselves, what interests me? Where does my curiosity want to go, right? So finding those threads to follow without needing to figure out the final result.
Yeah, well, you know,
I'm gonna shift this over just a
yeah,
little. Our
we've
light's
got
just
the sun
changing.
coming.
Yeah, we've got some. It's really nice.
This time of year, it
That's
starts to come in through. It
It will give us
every
some
couple
time.
of days, the sun comes a little bit higher, so the mountain ends up not getting in shadow. So we're quite a bit.
Where should I put this?
It's okay.
Stay with us.
It's all good.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's just really bright in my eyes.
Yeah, it'll probably go down again.
Yeah.
But we'll share some of the images of around the house too, because it's really, the view we're looking at is really incredible, and I think you're gonna love to see that too.
Just because, you know, we've been talking about the charmed life, the longevity element, the staying balanced business, but it also comes up about the trauma, like, and how we manage trauma. And I feel like when I look at, like, when you're talking about, like, if I'm building something and the ability to get help and ask for help, I'm not that good at that, but I can if I'm paying them. I'm not that comfortable just asking people for help. It's one of my weaker areas. But I think the point that comes up for me is this business of working with yourself, like your superpower. You're not in the picture very much anymore.
It's okay. This is about you.
Okay, I'm right in the middle. Just the ability to be able to acknowledge when something is challenging. Like, boredom isn't necessarily a thing that happens to me because I'm more doing too much, get overwhelmed, than crash kind of person, which I'm not as much. I don't really do that much anymore. I'm more of a routine person, and on account of being 70 and all, I'm allowed to take breaks. It's like, oh, you're actually tired. Why don't we just hang out and do nothing? Which, you know, can be whatever it is, reading or so. Yeah, I think it's like when I look back about weaving a life that feels nourishing and balanced. It's a worthwhile and achievable endeavor, I believe, and plenty of persistence. Like, yeah, it's been amazing, really, that I've been able to be that consistent over this amount of time.
Yeah. And I'm also just thinking about like the letting go process too, because you're talking about different relationships you've been in, and what I see is you're able to let them go with there's grace and there's a processing of emotions with that, as opposed to, you know, I think we were taught in other generations to repress our emotions, and that kind of builds up, or we stay too long in certain situations, or maybe we were brought up in a family where divorce was like a no, you don't do that, so you stick it out. But you've kind of created the like freedom for yourself. You've allowed to let yourself go of things that weren't working, process through, and then carry on and open up to the next opportunity, the next chapter, the next piece of art, the next part of your house. And I think that's just super key too, right? To allow ourselves to have feelings. And I know, I just want to mention too, like the spirit, not everyone here might be spiritual, but you've had quite a powerful spiritual practice, I would say, through your life. So, and that can be like, for me, dance is spiritual. I don't have to sit on a meditation cushion, though I like to do that too. And so art, I think, can also be spiritual too.
Oh yeah, I like to have my life as the practice. I was involved in Zen practice for a while, probably the strongest practice that I've had consistently, and now I'm happy to sit and listen to birds. And one of the things that has happened to me over the last year or two, really, maybe even longer than that, is I go outside and then I just kind of drop into this like kind of like a starey thing where I'm just like stopped, and then my side of myself that goes, you gotta get stuff done, hurry up, and the other part says, no, let's just stay here. So I kind of allow myself that practice throughout the day of just dropping into like maybe it's listening to the birds or just watching how the breezes go on the leaves of fir tree, whatever's going on, which isn't much is all I'm saying. And I just really appreciate that. It allows, it's like getting a little resets through the day that just make me feel connected to myself and to the environment. And I think part of when I look at all kinds of ways of going about life and how to be enlightened and this and that, who doesn't want to be enlightened, right? And I feel like having moments of just being, you know, the be here now thing. I really like that. And so it can be art, or it can be massage, or it can be cooking, or it can be cleaning my house, or it can be gardening. It can be any of those things. But the part that it is just what's going on inside my mind, like how at peace, or how aligned. I don't know all the words to say, but to me that's like so special. Like, you know, like I've done retreats at a Zen center, and I'm like doing the walking around the paths and cleaning around their place and doing all that. And I'm like, I want to be able to do that in my house. Like, I want to have that kind of a space and it be my life. So I feel as if that's more and more and more all the time, especially this last few years, just because I feel so much more happy. I just do. Like, I just don't spend a lot of time being sad or depressed or bummed out or any of those things. I really don't. Like, I might get a bit tired occasionally, but it's not bummed out tired like I used to get. Anyways, that's a thing of doing something for a long time with effort, maybe, or lack of effort. I don't know what you want to call that, but whatever it is, I feel pretty happy.
That's amazing. So for anyone listening today, what do you, like, if we just drop into this experience and feeling into our amazing audience members here, which I'm so grateful for you, what is there anything else you want to share around, like, if someone's listening to this and they're thinking, well, that sounds like it was so easy for her, or I don't have enough money to like, we're gonna come up with all kinds of excuses that's for her, right? And that for some reason this isn't working for me, and I'm like destined to be stuck with this pain in my body, or this particular relationship or family, or where I live. What would you want them to know?
That's a good question.
Yeah. And maybe you just want to contemplate it for yourself too, right? How, like, that process of allowing ourselves to have a charmed life, which is so unique for each of us, and the kinds of self-sabotage that can happen in that, the holding on so tight, trying to control things. This is all true for me. I know this what I've been going through personally. And surrendering to what the universe wants to pull through me, but also honoring, like, I was born in this body with these interests, with this kind of personality. You know, I'm a Scorpio with lots of planets in Scorpio. I love transformation. So just honoring all of that. How do I allow for the charmed magic and delight and joy to really manifest in my world? It's a big question for sure.
Yeah, I love the question. I shall attempt to answer it. I'm a Gemini with lots of planets in Cancer, in case you're wondering.
What are you in human design?
Manifester.
Manifester, yeah. I'm a projector, 2/4 projector.
Yeah. I have to say, I'd be inclined to say that focusing on my physical fitness has been a game changer for me. I mean, I've always been active, and my daily life has been active enough. But I wouldn't say that I actually had a regular exercise routine. And I think for me, and also because I'm aging and I got diagnosed with osteopenia, I mean, I did before, but ignored it. I can't really do this lifestyle without being fit. So I'm motivated. And because of that, I have a physical fitness routine. I am very conscientious with my food. I get body work when I need it. I believe in, and I preach self-care, so I'm into it, and I think it works. I think that
definitely,
yeah, without it, it's really hard for your body to be healthy and happy, or this body anyway. It's pretty much, yeah, I would highly recommend having some form of discipline. And I don't know if you want to call it discipline or just enthusiasm or whatever. In my case, I kind of have to say, you're going to do this. And I don't want to listen to I'm off doing these other things.
Yeah.
Because I have that tendency. And that's not to say I always am doing that, but in general, I am pretty good about it, and I feel like it's made me healthy enough that I can go about my world and feel pretty good. So
Thank you.
yeah, you're really, you can't, I don't think you can have a charmed life if you're not looking after your physical body, and obviously your emotional and spiritual and psychological and family. Like, they're all parts of it, but your body is the thing that's pumping air through your brain and the rest of you. If it's not doing a good job, you're really not, you're struggling. Like, if things are off balance, and I get it, lots of people are having huge health struggles, but even within the health struggles that you're having, there's always things that you could do that will make things a little better. So I'm super grateful that at this point in time, I'm healthy enough to be able to live in my lifestyle, considering it's taken me 30 years to build it. And other people are saying, you're getting old, you should go get yourself a condo. I mean, that's an option. And if it gets to the point where it's too difficult, then I'll do that. And then the other part of me says, why don't you get another husband? Because they're good at lifting things. So anyways, just saying.
But I love what you're saying, just as we finish up here, is the build your lifestyle. And it's taken you multiple decades to build, create your lifestyle. And partners have come and go, but you're consistent with what you know satisfies your soul and allows you to feel really amazing and inspired and happy. Like you're saying, you really don't have any anxiety, which is absolutely incredible. So it's, what I'm observing is building the lifestyle, like staying consistent, persistent. And once you get there, like, you're enjoying the process, but then you're there, you're like, I'm super relaxed. Like, I'm here, I did it. And it's amazing. And what I'm also seeing is when you're 70, we also have Pilates 3 mornings a week online. And the Pilates women this morning, a lot of them are in their 70s and some in their 80s. We're saying, 70s are like the sexy 70s. And they're like, we're going to call the 80s or elegant 80s. It's just such a different time. We're living much longer, obviously, in general. And for women in the second half of their life through menopause, that we're not having kids. We might have a different relationship to hormones and sexuality. But there's so much time to explore. And I think we're missing, we have these archetypes of maiden, mother, crone. And I think there's so much between that mother time, right, where you're birthing something into the world, to the crone. To me, there's quite a bit of, there's something missing in there as we understand things in terms of an archetype. Like, I've been thinking of something like the exploring empress or something. It's like the queen who continues to have reign and agency, but she's still exploring and expanding. It's not, to me, there's nothing wrong with the crone phase. Of course, that's part of what we're going through, and it's not negative at all. But there's something juicy in there that I see in women like you that are very much exploring it. It's so beautiful. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for joining today. And Laurie, I know you have a website as well.
I do.
Art, yeah. So what is it again?
It's actually Laurie McEwen.art.
Easy. Laurie McEwen, MCEWEN art, and we'll share it in the notes down below.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, so you can check out our beautiful, and we'll share some.
It was fun. I'd love to hear everybody else's stories.
Now we want to know about you. Share. Well, let's ask a question. So for the comments down below, what do you want to know?
Just like at whatever point in time a person is, do you feel like you're on track, and what works and what doesn't work, I guess.
Yeah, and then we can share our wisdom here and just really lift each other up in the process. It totally is a creative process, and I think
Life is a creative process.
life is a creative process. In the dance company I was in, there was a dancer, Kevin, who would always say, life is a dance.
It's true.
It became our motto everywhere we went on tour. We would just be like, life is a dance. And we're ultimately the artists of that life, right? So we want to there's going to be times of, you said effort quite a few times, and I think that's important to remember. There are times where we're rolling up the sleeves.
Oh my God.
And it's hugely effortful.
Yeah.
There's pressure. You're birthing something. It has to be part of the process. We can't sit back, be overly comfortable all the time.
No, and we have all kinds of challenges all the way along.
Yeah.
It's not an easy process.
No, it's not supposed to be easy. But you can create comfort and nourishment for yourself along the way, and you get to have that. It gets to be a choice.
Sorry, yawning away.
Thanks, Laurie.
You're welcome. That was nice. Thanks, Desi.
And thanks, Nick.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.